Welcome back. Last time, I discussed how to go around building a character by asking a question on how to start. Today, I want to discuss problem solving and planning ahead. As you're playing through the game, you might notice certain problems with the question you're trying to solve or the path you're trying to take. You'll need to solve these problems in order to continue forward. For example, the question we asked was, is a wizard good with a longbow? At level 1, the answer is no. However, as we increase in levels and take more options and make more choices to progress towards yes, we'll eventually be able to say yes. It's a weird way to put it, to be sure. But at the start, the answer is no. And that is not necessarily a problem with wizard, but with the longbow itself. Let me see. Let me head out into the explorable area. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so longbows are a long-range weapon. You actually have a considerable distance from which to fire. However, in the early levels, your rate of fire is really slow. I can take out enemies from a distance, but if they get close, I'm pretty much screwed. To solve this, early on, I'll want to invest. Let me get this guy before he gets to us. In a melee weapon of some kind. Now, there was an update recently that changed the way finessable weapons work. So if you are a character who has a high dexterity but a low strength, you can now equip a finessable weapon and do damage through dexterity rather than strength. It used to be that you had to take the feat Weapon Finesse in order for this behavior to unlock. It is now unlocked by default, and Weapon Finesse gives you a bonus instead. However, you might have noticed that for my class I've chosen, I am not proficient with this short sword. This is a new problem. To solve this problem, I have chosen to take the spell Master's Touch. I simply hold the weapon in hand, and now my problem is solved until I rest or leave the explorable area. If I do this at the start of a dungeon, it's until I rest or until I leave the dungeon. As for solving the speed of the longbow, there are feats we can take as we level up that will increase our rate of fire to be somewhat palpable. In addition, there are items we can take that increase our attack speed. Acquiring these weapons in addition to those feats, in addition to the haste spell or a haste skill boost, can help us keep up with our melee counterparts, or even actual wizards who are slinging spells. Now, mostly I'm going through this consideration because in order to try this idea out, I want to go as far as I can with just wizard, which is why I've chosen half-elf for the dilettante. I can put points in here and get Arcane Archer. That costs 4 points. But if I'm going to do that, I might as well have just multi-classed into Archer. Now, in addition to that, I also have access to Horizon Walker, Falconry, Harper Agent. Of these three, I might choose Harper Agent for strategic combat for... actually, no. Strategic Combat 2 for damage with via intelligence. We do get a 2-hit bonus over here on Eldritch Knight for intelligence, so we can keep increasing our intelligence and get stronger spells and more spell points in addition to actually being able to hit harder. Eldritch accuracy here. However, Eldritch Knight has the problem of it does not have 2 damage with intelligence, which is why I would be considering Harbor Agent. Now this is its own tree. It does cost DDO points or favor. I want to see how much I can do without any of these though. And maybe at level 20 dip into it if I have to. Mostly what I want to see is how far can I push this idea with just what I have available. So that's where I get into planning ahead. As I level up, as you level up, when you're selecting your feats, you can check show unavailable, and we'll show you show you the feats you don't have, so you can hover over them and see what you need for each one. In fact, I could do this now. I just realized I could do this now in the character sheet. Pretty handy. So if I wanted to say, find the ranged feats. There we go, ranged combat feats. The next one I want is probably going to be rapid shot here. In order to get this one, I need to get point blank shot. Once I get this, I can get ranged sneak attack. And then I can unlock this later. I don't know that we'll be getting shot on the run just because I've chosen half elf rather than human. So we won't be getting as many feats as we level up to do shenanigans. And the other thing too is what spells, since we are a caster class, what spells do we have available to learn from? And choose all that. And our enhancements, all these things. I think I'm just rambling on and on and on and on at this point. I'm going to stop. If you found this helpful, thank you for listening. If you found this annoying, thank you for listening. I think I'm just going to keep playing. It's been a long day. Might come back and... Yeah. Did What was I doing? What was I doing? And we're back. Quick update on the wizard character. I made it to level 5 so far in a week. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. So updates. Oh, I forgot to set my level 3 spells. Whoops, I'll get to that later. Early on, we had problems with enemies hitting us in melee. And as it turned out, we had a spell that we could use from level 1 to grant proficiency in any items we hold in our main hand, like this sword here. Now that I've gotten a few levels in, spell sword here from the Eldritch Knight tree actually grants us that proficiency anyway. So I can go ahead and switch that spell out for something else. In this case, I chose Protection from Evil. Or was it Featherfall? I don't recall. So as you're advancing through your levels, you'll, especially if you're spellcaster, you'll be setting aside some of the spells you're using to get through levels early on for ones that are maybe more longer term or more buffs or situationally. I've also got all the points I need into my racial trees for now, so I can focus on the Eldritch Knight. My goal with this character is to see how far I can take this concept with just Wizard. I think, yeah, so far I'm doing pretty good. For level 5 here, I went ahead and picked up some spells that I think are going to be fun to play with as well. I've got Fireball, because, you know, I'm a wizard, so why not? And I've got Flame Arrow as well. So if I get regular arrows into my inventory, that's bolts, but, you know, keep it in there. I can cast Flame Arrow and get a stack of let us convert, I think, what was it, 1 to 500? Yeah, converts 1 normal arrow to 500 flaming arrows. That is really loud in my ears. Man, the music is really excited here. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Also, I picked up a cool robe. It is very fancy looking, and it's random loot. So yes, sometimes the random loot you pick up actually looks interesting and decent. It's not all boring grays and browns. So I might end up getting a Mirror of Glamoring to fix this. Alright. I think that's about all from here for now. I'm going to keep playing this character off camera. So I'm not going to show you Feywild through here. Not today. That might be the next loop of the B-side team. So... Actually, I had stuff in my bio. What I might do, though, is I might show you what this character looks like at level 5. Minus Fireball and Flame Arrow, because I forgot to actually set those and get components.
Off we go. Into here.
I think this might be something here. Alright, so one of the problems with longbow, especially early on, is attack speed. That's like the main problem. This is mitigated by the bow simply doing more damage. However, if you miss, that's still 0 damage. So, you might be able to get a few shots off on an enemy before they approach you. So when you have a lot of enemies, you're gonna want your melee weapon. You're gonna want to actually click on the button. I did click. And look, I attack a lot faster. It's not to say that the longbow is useless at this stage. Far from it. You can still pick enemies off at a distance. You're just gonna have trouble in groups. And that's where putting points into Tumble can come in handy as well. So you have a single enemy. You can still, if you notice them approaching you, and they're not dead yet, you can still tumble away from them by yourself just a little bit more time. This is where I switch back to the blade. That one was immune to cold. Let's try shock. As well, Spellsword gives you 4 different imbues to try. None of them is force. You get that through Arcane Archer. But it does give you variety. So you can try them out in different situations. Let's see. There's a red cap over there. Let's see if we can get him. I clicked. Looks like if you're in the middle of an attack animation, your character won't want to switch until you're done. So you have to be mindful of that, I suppose. Cool. As an Eldritch Knight, though, most of your damage is going to be coming from your imbues rather than your weapon anyway. As well as any damage spells you've picked up. Now, I did pick a Fireball. I just forgot to set it and get the components. So, let me go... Sad noise. Let me go do that. Oh, shoot! That's what that noise was! I forgot. That's a very distinct noise, and I forgot what it sounded like. Oh dear. Okay. I'll be back. Okay. Okay, I did not mean to get in the middle of this. But while I'm here, let's go ahead and... take care of this. So equip our flame arrows we just created. And find something new to shoot. So I was not expecting those to be there. How long were they fighting? Did they only start fighting when I came back in? Because I didn't reset the instance. Oh, they might have been fighting that whole time. Anyway, the flame arrows we just created have 1d6 flaming on them. Which then combines with our electrifying on our bow. This is a short bow, it's not a long bow, but it's still a bow. And +2 enhancement bonus. Plus, we got a increased weapon die from one of our enhancements. I'm gonna go keep running. I don't care about shooting the deer. Yeah, so now we're doing decent. So we could go either sword and or bow at this point. few more groups ought to show this. Alright, now I've still got... I'm still rocking the starter potions from Korthos. That's because I want to use them all up before I get more. I actually force myself to use these darn potions. Oh, over there. Yeah. Now there are feats we can take later. I think Rapid Shot is one of them to increase our attack speed. As well, I'll be looking for any item I can get that boosts my attack speed. Another thing we can do to mitigate having such a low attack speed with the longbow is increasing our double shot percent chance. So that is a percent chance, usually stacking, sometimes not. There's a percent chance to get an extra like attack roll when you fire your bow, or when you loose an arrow, when you fire a bolt or throw a dagger. The equivalent would be for melee would be what is it? Oh, what is it called? It's in here in this nonsense somewhere. Oh, double strike. Yeah. Yeah, double strike. Now I don't know if they're the same thing or not. Or if they're like separate chances. There's another group here I can attack. Oh shit, and I did not see this Blaze Beast. Now, I don't have Shot on the Run yet, so as I'm attacking, I am getting a penalty to attack rolls, but I think I've still got enough chance to hit. It doesn't matter that much. Wood bows. Looks like they want to be hit by fire. I think this might be the last group here, and then I'll go ahead and switch characters. Record the other thing I need to record tonight. Hi. Ooh, I've made no friends here. Oh, that is a problem I need to start solving. Yeah, I've been enjoying this character a lot. I think I'm approaching the castle now, aren't I? There's more things to explore out here in the field, of course. Like,
You spot a pattern in the wind-swept meadow. A living chessboard formed from the greenery itself.
50. 50 is a good number. Now let's try and make our way to the castle. Oops. I hit harder. Wrong button. I'm getting a lot of mileage out of that wand. Alright. It's a nice, pretty castle.
This soaring structure is Wynwood Hall, the home of Lord Arden and the local center of the summer court.
Alright, I think that's enough for now. I might pop in later if I keep playing this character. So for now, thank you all for watching, and have a good night.